Hi everyone, it's Carolyn from True Crime Chat with Mommy Ramblings, and I'm here with the update in the Vallow Daybell case. Today, Chad had his arraignment hearing, and we're also going to talk about Lori Vallow Daybell and how Judge Stephen Boyce signed the paperwork that committed her, and we'll talk about what's going to happen there, as well as this being the day 1 year ago where the remains of JJ and Tylee were found on Chad's property. So let's take a look at what's going on here today when Chad's going to plead not guilty to all of the charges. So Chad Daybell had his formal district arraignment today, and it was before Judge Stephen Boyce. In the courtroom were three of Chad's and Tammy Daybell's children. There were Garth Daybell, Seth Daybell, and Emma Murray, and they sat behind Chad on that side of the courtroom. They were all wearing masks. Also in attendance was Kay Woodcock, who sat next to Colby Ryan. Kay Woodcock is JJ's grandmother. Colby Ryan is Lori Daybell's son. Natalie Pawlowski was also there. Now, Natalie used to be married to Ian Pawlowski, who is married to Melanie Pawlowski now, Lori's niece. When the judge went through each charge, which I'll go over in just a second here, Chad pursed his lips and said, "Yes, Your Honor," when he was asked if he understood the charge, and then he pled not guilty to all of the charges. He was wearing a white shirt and tie, and Kay Woodcock became emotional, especially when Chad was pleading not guilty. Now, afterwards, East Idaho News interviewed Kay Woodcock and Colby Ryan, and they asked her about herself becoming emotional because she did grab Colby Ryan's hand when that happened in the courtroom. And so she was asked about that and said, yes, she didn't realize it was going to be that emotional, but it's more real, and it's been surreal to this point, and it's a little more real today, but that was very emotional. And she grabbed Colby's hand, and Colby, when he was asked, what he was thinking, he was just gave like a sigh and kind of looked just really worn with the whole thing, and said he was just thinking about what could have happened. And that was really all that happened in the courtroom with Chad. Let's go through his charges. So he pled not guilty to the following: conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the death of Tylee Ryan. First-degree murder for the death of Tylee Ryan. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the death of JJ Vallow. First-degree murder for the death of JJ Vallow. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the death of Tammy Daybell. First-degree murder in the death of his wife, Tammy Daybell. Insurance fraud related to life insurance policy he had on Tammy, for which he was the beneficiary and received the funds after her death, and insurance fraud related to another life insurance policy he had on Tammy Daybell, for which he was the beneficiary as well and received those funds after her death. Conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence related to the bodies of JJ and Tylee, and that was the previous charge, and destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence related to the bodies of JJ and Tylee, that was previous charge. Remember again that Chad's been in the jail now, a year, because of the timeline here, and Nate Eaton was just saying that he's eating like biscuits for breakfast, and he gets a TV dinner at Pot Pie for dinner, and that's about the size of what goes on there in the county jail. I'm not sure exactly why he was speaking about that, but he was just trying to say, like, this year, I guess, has really changed for Chatty, right? Chatty. Now, Lori didn't have an arraignment hearing because Judge Stephen Boyce last Thursday signed an order that committed Lori to a state mental health facility. And that's going to mean that she's going to be sent to this facility for treatment. And that treatment is to restore her mental competency, because in Idaho, you cannot use the reason of insanity as a defense. So Lori's competency has to be restored in order for her to stand trial. And I quote here that what was Stephen Boyce put in there: the court finds that the court finds that the defendant does lack the capacity to make informed decisions about treatment. And then he also wrote, the court finds that the defendant is not dangerously mentally ill. So that's what we have there. So she doesn't have an arraignment hearing, and let's talk a little bit more about exactly what does that mean. Well, with Lori's commitment, the Idaho law is going to allow her to be held at this mental health facility for up to 90 days, and that is to restore her competency. Now, if they're able to restore her competency, the court proceedings will resume and everything will go on as normal. If they're not able to restore her competency within that 90 days, then that will have another hold that will extend for 180 days. So she'll get another 90 days, and she would continue to receive treatment. It's unclear which state facility Lori is going to be sent to. I know a lot of people are saying Blackfoot, could be. Today, Wednesday, June 9th, marks the date, the 1-year date since investigators found the bodies of Tylee and JJ buried on Daybell's property. I still remember that day. I remember seeing Todd out in the street, and then we had, Todd's arrest when he's been in jail since then on other charges, not the murder charges, because those came down last month. Lori was already in jail, and this is what we've been doing now. So the arraignment hearing's done. Lori's committed. She has 90 days for them to restore her competency. If that doesn't work, she'll be given another 90 days. No idea what facility, maybe Blackfoot. And that's the update. Prayers for justice for Tylee and JJ and for their family and friends who are mourning their loss and have to go through this trial. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a good day. Bye now.